At the 2026 Wanganui Cooks Classic taking place in New Zealand, we got to witness one of the craziest record-breaking performances in modern running history. For this 1 mile run, it was a true battle between the Olympian Sam Tanner, a 3-minute and 49-second miler, and the 16-year-old phenom, Sam Ruth. Now, on paper, Tanner takes this win with no problem, as his current personal best is almost 10 seconds faster than Ruth's, and with his global racing experience, it places him far ahead of his teenage rival. Right? Well, perhaps not, because this race proved to be one of the greatest races that you are likely to ever see from someone of Sam Ruth's age. And the crazy part is, he really is just getting started. Now, to kick off this 1 mile run, the pace went out crazy fast. I mean, this was practically an all-out senior mile world record attempt, as the pacer up front and Sam Ruth close in second crossed through the opening 400 in right around 54.5. At this pace, and hold on to your hats on this one, Ruth was set to hit a time of around 3 minutes and 40 seconds, give or take a few tenths. But as you will quickly find out, this early push proved to be way too fast indeed, and the second 400 was a significant slowdown, with a split right around 60 seconds or so. This put both Ruth and Tanner right at 1 minute and 55 seconds through the opening 800, which is already an amazing split by itself. But this 400 to 800 meter slowdown was certainly a challenging thing to recover from. They've already gone out red hot, and then they ultimately slowed down because of this wicked fast opening 400. You can actually even visibly see the struggle on the lead pacer's form here. This was just too fast, too early. But if you thought that this was enough to slow down the two Sams up front, you would be wrong. Because after this opening 800, the pacer quickly dropped off, with Ruth now up front, pushing the tempo. And even though his third lap was the slowest on the day at 61 seconds, the final 400 meters of this mile proved to be an absolute burner from both Sam Ruth and Sam Tanner. For this final lap, you can see Ruth visibly pushing the pace once there's just one lap remaining. You can see their cadences increase, and the race was now on. With 200 meters to go, the pace increased again, and you can tell that Sam Ruth wanted the victory here because Sam Tanner is certainly a mile specialist, and again his PR is almost 10 seconds faster. Down the final 100 meters, both athletes were in full flight, and as many people predicted, Tanner was able to take this win, and he finished with a time of 3 minutes 53 seconds. But just a few tenths behind him was the 16-year-old Sam Ruth, and he finished with a time of 3:53.83 seconds, an absolutely stunning performance for someone of his age. This time takes down the 16-year-old age group world record, as it was previously held by Cam Myers at 3:55.44, and this would now make Sam the second fastest high schooler in the history of the United States, which is only a comparison because Sam is from New Zealand, but the comparison is certainly warranted, as any high school sub-4 milers in the US makes you one of the best athletes in prep history. Only the US athlete Alan Webb has now run faster than Sam Ruth while in high school, and this was only a few tenths, as Alan Webb ran a time of 3:53.43 many years in the past. But for this performance, where he was running against professionals, he was already 18, and for this race, Ruth is still only 16. For Alan Webb's time, which came in the pre-classic, he was actually competing against Hisham El Garouj, and Garouj went on to win that race with another sub-350 mile. And given that he was running against the pros, this race was paced quite well, and he ran it a lot more efficiently than Sam Ruth did. And yet, Ruth almost took down the time that now has stood in the US as the high school record for more than 2 decades. Now, a few other pretty wild statistics from this performance include the fact that this is now Ruth's new highest scoring athletics performance to date, as it reaches a score of 1,152 points on the World Athletics scoring table, even higher than his recent 800 time, and perhaps the wildest stat of them all, on the all-time all-conditions list of New Zealand milers, which includes some of the greatest talent to ever touch the track, Ruth is now ranked 7th all-time for the country of New Zealand, as this time just managed to improve on the all-time best of none other than Peter Snell. You know, the Olympic legend in the 60s that completely changed the game for milers and 800 runners. This list is so slam-packed with global championship legends that it's almost comical that an athlete at 16 is placed right in the middle of this list. You've got John Walker at number 1, an Olympic champion in his own right. You've got Geordie Beamish just 0.01 seconds behind Walker, one of the greatest closers of all time and a recent global champion. There's Sam Tanner in third, again with his sub-350. And then there's Nick Willis, Rod Dixon, there's Robertson, and now Sam Ruth is placed at 7th. And man, this kid really is just getting started. This performance is quickly making Sam Ruth's list of personal records look like a seasoned Olympic veteran with a few medals. Definitely not a 16-year-old, but the part that leaves me the most optimistic about this kid's future is the fact that this 353-mile PR was honestly run quite inefficiently, meaning that his improvement will likely come very soon. Now, to kick things off, his opening lap at 54.5 was borderline suicide. This was even faster than the outright world record attempts opening 400 of Hicham El Guerrouj. Call it racing adrenaline or call it slightly irresponsible and excited front pacing, but this race should have gone out at the fastest. Maybe 56.5, or even better would have been 57. This would leave much more abilities in Sam's legs over the final 800, and down the line, it probably would have led to a time many seconds faster. But unfortunately, a 54.5 was achieved for the opening 400. Now, looking back on it, it's not really a surprise that his second and third laps were hit right at 60 seconds. I mean, opening like this was just too fast, but the fact that he was then able to drop a 56 final 400 is downright admirable. I mean, this is really an impressive and mature performance from Sam Ruth, given the opening pace. Sam's endurance abilities really came to light in this performance. I mean, I really do think that he at least could have shaved 2 more seconds off of his finishing time because of his pacing. But to keep his head down while leading over the final 800 solo up front is something that I don't think any other 16-year-old in history could ever do. Now, for a future paced mile, Sam could easily achieve 400 splits of, let's say, 57, followed by another 57, then a 57 or a 58, and then he could kick his final 400 in maybe 56 or even 57 seconds again. And if he did this, guess what time he would then achieve? That's right, he would hit a time right around 3 minutes and 50 seconds, and potentially, he could go under that barrier. Sam Ruth is special. There is just no denying that. But getting the correct pacing down for a race like this is something that people spend years perfecting, and it's also something they spend years gathering the right pacing team for. So the fact that Ruth is already able to self-correct in the middle of a mile like this and still run a 3:53 is close to legendary status in my book. Also, and this likely played more of a role in this race than many realize, but the wind was simply brutal. Measured throughout the early races and the sprints, the wind often hit speeds well over 4 meters per second, with one race even reaching 5.8, meaning that for at least one of the 100-meter back stretches, Sam was running directly into a gusting wind, and if he had been running behind Sam Tanner, he would have conserved significantly more energy. Now, yes, for the other side of the track, he was assisted by a tailwind, but the net effect of this kind of running is still very much on the negative side. Ruth's early season in 2026 has easily been one of the greatest that I have ever seen from a prep runner. From his solo 338 in the 15, to his solo 146 in the 800, to his incredible 217 1000, to this new age group record of 353 in the mile, Ruth is improving so rapidly that I would not be surprised if he takes down a few highly ranked professionals this year, possibly at a big meet like the Prefontaine Classic, but we will have to wait and see. But for now, keep your eyes on Sam Ruth in any distance from the 800 up to the 5000, because from my perspective, there is no denying that he is the greatest youth middle distance prodigy that we have ever seen. And don't take my word for it, that's the growing consensus in the greater track and field world. And now I would love to hear from all of you about this insane performance from Sam Ruth. What do you think this 353 means moving forward? Do you think he'll run under 350 this season? What other age group records do you think he's going to be able to take down this year? And how do you think he's going to fare against the pros? Do you think he can take down any big names, possibly at the pre-classic? Or do you think he's going to wait until next season to really do his bidding for a shot at many of the big names? Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time.